Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And you know what? It's been a minute since I have been able to properly recap Love and Marriage DC. So I felt like let's get back down to it. Now, a big part of the reason was because I was on vacation. And to be quite honest with you, I was determined not to work hard at all, if at all, on that vacation aside from two videos that I did where I just felt compelled to deliver a message that I felt like was poignant for, us to kind of really talk about, right? But pending that, like watching the show and recapping it, honestly, during my vacation, there was really not much time to do a lot of watching episodes. I don't even think I turned on the television in any of the rooms unless it was already on when I was actually checking into the room, right? If you guys are interested in the chronicles of Switzerland and everything I did, I am doing a video series on my personal channel where I go through each day of the trip. So it's going to be vlog style videos or recap videos, giving you helpful tips, hints, all that kind of stuff about traveling to Switzerland and Italy and Milan and all that good stuff like that. So follow me over there. Also, if you guys haven't already done so, you guys can click the QR code here and you guys can actually pre-order the Wickedest Wives book 2 in the series. It will be finally out next month. And you guys can click the link in the description down below to actually tap on the link yourself. Now, with that being said, let's get into the episode now that we've got the housekeeping out of the way. This episode is they have it on YouTube TV as season 3, episode 10. See, let's have a ponderosa. Let's have a real honest to bejesus ponderosa about just that in and of itself. My estimation I think I'm correct in my estimation of how the seasons are laid out. With this being labeled season 3 on YouTube TV, it kind of feels like, remember when I talked to you guys about the A and B seasons? It feels like a way to sort of squeeze in 2 seasons, but labeling them A and B. But the problem with this season is in particular, and I've addressed this already, but I feel like I need to address it again because it's been a minute, is that a lot of this has happened a year ago. Now we're in almost the precise time from last year when these things were happening. The difficulty for me is just in knowing the landscape of some of the relationships. Like, I don't know the intimate details of all of these friendships and relationships, but just knowing how much has changed, not only in between the time of filming and the reunion, which I think occurred months later, but also from the airing of the episodes to even now. I have a couple of questions that I feel like I would love to have answered. Now, I know that this wasn't something that Carlos could specifically answer when I did have my conversation with him, but it is a question that I feel like needs to be asked. Is this show even coming back? I mean, y'all took all year to bring this back around, right? So for me, it's so hard because, again, I'm here in DC. I'm not really I don't really go out a lot, but these are people I know or I come into contact with. So, what I see on the screen and then what I know in real life could be two different things. So I want you guys to understand that as well, which is kind of leading into the difficulty with me doing these recaps. However, we can still talk about what we see on the screen. But my question remains, next week we have the finale, which is immediately going to be followed by the first reunion episode. Is it that you guys are just rushing through this in order to get back to Huntsville? Or is it, which I'm excited about? I mean, don't get me wrong. Huntsville is always going to be one of my number one shows. It just is. It's something I feel like they find a way to make it fresh each season, and they kind of keep on target with the pacing of real life and the story, right? So let's get down to this thruple of it all. We're on season 3, okay? Um, which I believed was season 2B, but on YouTube TV, they have it as season 3. And then this is episode 10. It's called Two's Company, and 3 is a thruple. All right. So if I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm just going to give it in general an 8. Part of the reason I'm going to give it an 8 is because we are no longer talking about really Ashley and Joy being at each other's throat. Because I, to be honest with you, could not take another moment of it. Okay. You know, I always talk about the joy of a reality TV show is the conflict and the drama and then the resolution. Same with watching a movie. You know what I'm saying? When you watch your favorite TV show, if I'm watching SWAT and they ain't caught the bad guy by the end of the episode, like, okay, like or if you ain't caught the bad guy by episode 5, or if I know by the end of a season of a show on Netflix, y'all ain't caught the bad guy, I'm a little upset. So that's how we feel about reality TV once a drama goes on for too long. And because it had been a year, I mean, I just kind of feel like, ooh, y'all done left us dangling for a long time and we still talking about it. Okay. Next. Again, so I give it an 8 because I don't know what to really rate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just pleased we're not talking about that no more and we've kind of moved on. Yes, there is some shade being thrown from Ashley with regards to Joy's, the way she dresses. And I would prefer the shade darts being thrown here and there versus, I don't know, ain't nobody talking to each other for a good 12 episodes. Okay. That's not really interesting to me. And we've seen how that has worked on Potomac. So to see it run parallel as the two shows are airing on back-to-back nights in the same city is like, oh. So thank God we are finally past that point. All right. Now, Ashley still don't like, Clifton. Clifton still don't like Ashley. Quick still don't like Clifton. And so it goes. But interestingly, this show seems to focus more on the women than it does the men. So right now, it really don't seem to be that much of an issue. And Quick seemed too busy to be concerned with filming anyway. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's just the truth. And if you got to work, I mean, you got to work. I always say you got to. This is what I think about, making money and earning income. You got to focus on what you need to be focused on the business that pays you. Now, and when you think about it in the tiers, you got to focus on the business that pays you the most. And if, the radio and gigs is paying the most, then that's where you got to be. That's just life. So anyway, and this is me not knowing what these people getting paid because ain't nobody told me that. Winter and Yusha in the first scene, they mix it up. They mixing their kids up and whatnot. And I did like how this scene played out. It but knowing what I know now was kind of like much ado about nothing, right? But in the episode itself, if we're going to stick to the episode, which I feel like let's do it. I thought it was a good scene. As we're seeing this play out, Yusha and Winter seem like an adorable couple to me. He seems like, he's open and she's open, and the kids are, her kids are protective, and his daughter is very much like, it ain't none of my business. I'm gonna stay in my child's place, but I want my daddy to be, well taken care of. I did like that. And I like the fact that Winter's kids were very protective of her, especially coming from the situation that she just came from in the previous season. Now, with regards to their time alone after they were cooking the s'mores, I didn't really understand what, Winter was saying about Yusha being in still, I guess, in like the fairy tale phase of the relationship. Like, I mean, granted, there is the reality of a relationship in a marriage or whatever you want to call it. I guess where Winter is, perhaps, if I'm reading this correctly, is that Winter knows that she is she is looking for a husband. And I don't want to, by looking for, I don't mean to say that she is in desperate need of. Don't mistake that. What I'm saying is it seems as though if she is going to date, this is my perception, that she wants it to, if I'm going to spend my time with kids and work and everything else that I got going on, and because of situations in my past, the person that I am spending time with, I am vetting to be husband material. I'm not out here just dating to date. That's what I get. So if maybe she's referring to like, okay, what does our everyday lives look like together? Let's talk finances. Let's talk, how we manage each other. Those are things that Winter needed to take more heed of in the previous relationship. So maybe that's where she is with this situation. But, I guess for Yusha, maybe the timetable is a little bit different because as a man, maybe he's like, well, we've yet to connect physically. So, I mean, it does kind of feel like still in the dating phase of it all because of the reality of life today. The reality of life today is that most people, I mean, whether you want to say it or not, are not waiting until marriage for the intimacy. And I just feel like that's just the reality of the way things go. Now, I say more power to you if you can, or if that is your goal or your mission, then go ahead and do so. I mean, it is what it is. That's your personal business. But I'm just saying that could be the reason for the differentiation in where they are. But I don't know. What I do know, I ain't going to talk about what I do know because that shall be discussed, I'm sure, in next week. Okay. Anyway, Joy meets with the event planner for her party, and she wants it to be that good Trinidadian food. She wants it to have that good Trini vibe, which is, I personally feel like, in my spirit, I feel like I was born Caribbean. I mean, I don't know what it is. Something about my spirit just vibes with like, just Caribbean culture. I could say the same thing about Cape Town. Honestly, you might as well call me Swiss at this point because you couldn't tell me I wasn't about to move to Switzerland as I was there. Okay. But I'm someone who falls in love with culture easily, maybe because I'm a Cancer and I just happen to be that type of person who empathetically just feels things. You know what I'm saying? Not emotional. Don't confuse the two, okay? Because I'm a very different type of Cancer when it comes to that. But I do feel my emotions in a different way. We'll talk about that in just 1 second because it's gonna come up later. All right, Erana stops by, and we learned that Joy and Clifton just got back from Grenada. Is it me, or do they stay on a trip while they filming this show? I mean, listen, God bless you if you can do it. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like to me, every time I look around, they on a vacation while they have been filming the show. And I can't be mad at it because Lord knows I love myself a good vacation too. So I'm not mad at that. Anyway, Joy invited Winter, Ashley. Apparently, Ashley then saw something on the show. I guess maybe the show was airing while they were filming the second half of the season. To be quite honest with you, I can't recall. But apparently, Joy and Carmen, okay, were having a discussion with Clifton about Ashley and Alicia and something about them being messy. So Joy is like, well, it's no different from Ashley telling Alicia that, I was married. And I was like, well, ooh, oh, well, okay. All right. Ashley apparently sent a very long text message not liking Joy calling her and Alicia messy or whatever like that. And, Joy responded, I felt like appropriately. Let me just say this. On a television show like this, we've got to know that shade will be thrown. So somebody, I have had some time to really sit with this idea that I was told that Joy called me a messy blogger. Because at the end of the day, somebody calling me a messy blogger is really not that much of an insult when I really think about it. Number one, to call me a blogger, I really don't care what you call me. I'm really mostly a fan of reality TV, so you could call me a fan. I don't care. Call me whatever you want to call me, as long as I'm able to talk to my people on a day-to-day basis and talk about the things that we want to talk about. You can call me Scrooge if you want to. Then, okay, and unless unless it's something I just don't like. But now that I've had some time to sit with it, some weeks and some time away, and then to call me messy, now that I think about it, looking back at my response to that, it is what it is. I'm talking about them. They got the right to talk about me. Okay? To a certain degree, right? I'm talking about the show. I'm talking about celebrity news and entertainment. What I always just think though is nobody ever says, "Oh, People Magazine was being messy with something," and I'll be talking about the same things that People Magazine be talking about. Like, I talk about typically what is reported in major news or on other major news outlets, right? So, and a lot of, other news outlets, they reference each other as well. Like the Neighborhood Talker reference Radar Online may reference Page Six, this, that, and the third. But nobody is ever calling Page Six messy. I guess that was always my thing, right? Nobody's ever saying these things about, it's always the Black people that they call them messy. But I get it. It is what it is. And being called messy ain't the worst thing in the world. So I did like the way that Joy handled it. I have to say that, because if somebody responds to something that they've seen online to me in a very long text message, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I am not going to read the book. I'm not going to read the entire text message. I'm just not. I just don't do it. I will look at the first two or three sentences and see that it's going south, and I'm going to stop reading, because my next response is going to be, okay, so either we're going to talk on the phone or we're going to talk when I see you, because I'm just not going to do the misinterpretation that is the texting game. People, when they put down their feelings in writing on a text message, I always feel like that's still up to my interpretation, versus you sitting down and having a conversation with me. Would you say the same thing? Period. I'm not saying that you won't, but I'm just simply saying that it's a different dynamic when you're having a conversation with somebody face to face. It just is, especially somebody that you are trying to work on a relationship with. So I appreciated Joy's response. I'm just telling you how I would respond to something like that. All right. So anyway, Ashley's daughter is preparing for a dance competition. Quick don't like the outfit. Ashley's daughter says, "You don't like it, don't come to the competition." I don't know why that cracked me up so much. Now, listen, what I want my daughter, wearing like something that the dance people dance in. If you're a protective father, you probably wouldn't, right? But that is the dance world, and that's what they dance in. So it is what it is. And then when Ashley showed him what had been worn before, it was like, well, this is the dance community. And I do think that, it is what it is. I felt like Ashley was right. Okay, so if you don't like what she wearing, she don't dance. If otherwise, she gonna go dance. What's up? It's really that. Quick also doesn't understand why Ashley is going to Joy's fete for her birthday, because he's like, if basically it's like this, how can you be cool with somebody but not be cool with their spouse? Quick is not gonna go, okay? And that's going to be the challenge for Joy and Ashley moving forward, outside of the shade darts that they throw in their confessionals and also to each other's faces. But that is also what makes a show like this, fun. Like that's the fun part about these types of shows is seeing some of the shade when it's funny and when it doesn't feel like it's going too deep, right? Or it doesn't last too long. Anyway, it's the night of Joy's party. Clifton wants to know how she sees the party going, and she says, fun, 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 fun. The Tylers arrive early. It's not a lot of people there, but I assume that's probably more or so related to filming. I think a lot of times when you're filming these types of events, it's probably better to have controlled chaos by having less people there, more so than it being a wild, kind of party where if you have too many people at the event, then it becomes a situation where like there's no music, okay? Like you're not really playing a lot of music at these events. And the reason why is because usually there's some clearances that would have to be involved, and there's the sound, right? That you got to work around or work over. So typically, a lot of times people will have the party, and then they'll have the party for the TV, and then the real party. Okay. And a lot of times, not in Ashley's defense, Ashley Darby, when she's asked about the cameras being down, that is typically a reason why you would ask a question like that. So we can actually turn on the Beyonce, turn on the Megan, turn on the Nicki, the Cardi, the Drake, the Lil Wayne. Because otherwise you would have to get clearance to play it or spend an inordinate, a lot of money to try to like drown it out in the background. So it's just better to not have it. So if you're going to have an event like that, the people that are there have to know that, first of all, one, I've got to sign a release to be on camera. Two, I got to understand that I can't be all up in the scene, okay? Because if it's filming going on, cameras got to work around a whole bunch of people. So it is just the technicality of it is a difficult thing. All right, so Winter is there. Yusha's on the way. Joy does make her appearance. Joy has a very nice body. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. Joy's body be bodying, and it's interesting to me that she kind of like always that. I'm not gonna police that because I don't want to even sound like I'm policing what a woman could or should wear. But what I will say is that I think she could, play with it a bit more in terms of like the fashions and stuff like that, because, she's got a great body, but she's also probably just not the type of person that wants to wear those types of things all the time. So with regards to the outfit that she did have on, it wouldn't have been something that I chose for her, but it is her birthday. So on your birthday, you get to do what you want to do. Okay? Per. All right. Anyway, Ashley arrives and does indeed drag the mess out of Joy's bodysuit. She does compliment her body though, but she does drag the bodysuit. Okay. Now, and she does not speak to Clifton. All right. Erana tells Winter about her telling. So it's Erana, Winter, and Joy, and Ashley. Everybody on the thumbnail. Standing around having a conversation. All right. Now, Erana tells Winter about Joy and Carmen and Clifton taking photos and how it looked inappropriate. Now, Ashley is still annoyed by the throuple of it all, especially with Carmen. She feels like Carmen is the sidekick that they are trying to make Alicia out to be. Alicia, who we curiously have not seen much of in this part of the season. Okay. Well, we did see her a little earlier, but we ain't seen her since. But I have missed a couple of episodes, so maybe that's it. Anyway, so Erana is going on about Ashley calls Carmen blue eyes. Are Carmen's eyes blue? I cannot tell, number one, because I am the colorblind. I barely know what color my eyes are. People will ask, are they green? Are they hazel? I don't know. They brown. They I don't know. They are a menagerie of things. Whatever. Whatever you see. I can't see them. I can see them now, but I still don't know what I see. Anyway, I don't even know what color. To be quite, what color do I have on? I don't know. So anyway, colorblind issues. Okay, colorblind issues. So anyway, Erana is going on about all the people there at the event. Yes, the event was about as busy as the room behind me. Okay, but as I stated to you guys, the reason why. Okay, it's just usually not feasible. It could be, but it could also not be, depending on the budget, depending on the film crew, depending on a lot of things. So anyway, Carmen is like, okay, if you say so, girl. And I'm like, is that shade? Is that shade? And I really feel like we need to get into the dynamics of it all with the Ready to Love crew, okay? Which I'm gonna do in a second. But before we get there, Erana does notice some shade there, okay? She peeped it. So speaking of Ready to Love people, it's some Ready to Love people in the building. And Ashley is like, well, Winter didn't know that you, Carmen, were Clifton's number 2 on Ready to Love. So we do see a flashback of them two talking, but Carmen says that she dismissed herself from Clifton. Now, I did not watch, to be honest with you, I've tried to watch Ready to Love, and mostly I'm unable to because I think it comes on like a Friday. Does it still come on Fridays? And to be very honest with you, I do not like to do anything on Friday nights. I don't. Like every other day of the week is like, I feel like I'm busy, 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 busy. Friday nights, I just feel like I cannot. It is too much. So I have to make, well, that's another story for another day. But anyway, what I will say is that, so that's why I don't watch it. So if I have too much to do on a Friday night, I just can't. So I didn't see that show. All I understood was that Carmen and Clifton was a match, and then for whatever reason, Clifton and Joy ended up together. In the comments, I had read something about people thinking that Joy was mean to somebody at the reunion. That's all I know. Okay. Y'all can fill in the blanks in the comment section for those of you guys who watch Ready to Love, because I am unfamiliar. Anyway, Erana brings up that she saw Joy out of town with Carmen. And Carmen is like, now I was with my man. Now, the reality of this is I don't know that Carmen was dating her man at that time. I do know that Carmen has a man now, or at least the last time I saw her in the public. Okay. And I met the man. So that part, if that is the same guy, then it is true. Okay. There's a man involved. So I don't know how he feels about any of what is happening within the bubble of this show, as it is narrated to us that Carmen appears to be the third person in their relationship, right? Or just really a close friend. I mean, and basically at this point, Ashley's like, "Oh, you got a man? Where he at?" Because she's like, the only man I see you posted with is Clifton. She's like, he doesn't live here. Now, the man that I met did not live here, but I did meet him in the flesh. Okay, very much together. All right. So Carmen says she doesn't get all the throuple drama. She feels like it's almost like if y'all want to call me a throuple with them, I could call you and Alicia a throuple with Quick. I was like, well, they was going back and forwards with it. Okay. And Ashley's like, it's not the same thing. And technically it's not, because I would say the difference would be how we saw them on, if you watch Ready to Love, you saw Clifton and Carmen connecting. So I could see why Erana could say how it looks on to like an outsider, that it could seem inappropriate. I could understand why she would say that, because of the nature of the show that they were previously on. But if it does not matter to Joy, then it really ain't a thing to me. That's how I feel about it. Like, if Joy don't care, then I don't care. Period. Like, I'm not inviting myself into making up an issue for your relationship. I don't want to know. Actually, I don't want to know nothing about your relationship problems. Take it to your therapist. If you need to talk to me about anything, talk to me about, if you need some advice. Listen, as a friend, I am there. But what I have learned to do is to separate the outcome and the actions from the people in the relationship. So if you're my friend and you come to me about your relationship, and you have wanted me to now accept this relationship as this is what you want to do, I'm still your friend, but I cannot be emotionally invested in what you guys are doing. I will be the objective party and friend to you that you need me to be, but I just find that it is best for me to have a bit of separation from the relationship aspect of your life itself. And that's just how I operates. Anyway, Ashley then tries to pull Joy into the conversation. Winter is like trying to get a drink because this thing about to go left. Joy is like, not me, girl. I got to go make a speech. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. And Carmen in her confession is like, girl, how you gonna leave me alone with these girls like this? And she feels like Joy and Clifton are too quiet, and the throuple conversation does not serve her or her business. Because Carmen works in PR. For those of you guys who had not picked that up. So Ashley doesn't think that they're a throuple. She thinks that they just talk it up and play it up to the people so that the people could be talking. Now, I don't know who plays it up more. I don't know if Joy and Clifton play it up more, or if it was Joy, Clifton, and Carmen that played it up, because I cannot recall, because honestly, a lot of it happened a year ago. So I cannot be held to the fire for not remembering this. Okay? Winter is like, well, girl, do you think it's weird that y'all go on trips like that together? I mean, based on the history. And the way Carmen turned around and looked at Winter and was like, I know you are not effing talking to me. I mean, she looked at her like she was looking at the help. Then if you watch it back in slow motion, And baby, let me tell you something. Carmen's voice got deep on that one. She was like, you want to go? Let's go. And at that point in time, I was thinking to myself, oh, we got a little firecracker here. What might you be able to do on a new season of Love and Marriage DC? What might you be able to bring to this equation? Because right now I'm still a little confused, okay? But I guess we'll see next week fully, okay? So anyway, she is sick of the homewrecker accusations, all right? And she tells Erana that she does not feel bad about, these photographs with Clifton. And Ashley confronts her about, well, what you were saying about me being, I guess, maybe a mean girl or whatnot. And Carmen basically says, oh, yeah, because you're the head B. And I was like, now, my question was, now, Carmen, were you just trying to real quickly smooth things over with Ashley, or were you really clowning the other girls? Because it could be taken in two ways. Like it could have been taken like, oh, you feel like Ashley's in charge of the girls, so you want to be up next to who's in charge of the girls, or you clowning you clowning the doo-wop pop crew. Okay, that's basically you calling them Effie and Laurel. Okay, the doo-wop pop crew. Is that what you calling them? So I couldn't tell if there was shade being thrown, or basically like I'm really trying to, get on your good foot because I don't want no smoke with you, or because it was received by Ashley like I don't want no smoke with you. I feel like that's how it was received by Ashley. So that's something I would like to ask Carmen. Like, well, girl, how did you mean that? Like, what? Or is that what you were saying objectively? Like, you feel like everybody else acquiesces to Ashley. It could be looked at three different ways, and that's what I need for Carmen to answer. Okay, because I want to know. All right. Anyway, moving on. Erana and Winter were not feeling that. Okay, they were not feeling that head HBIC comment. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam. So anyway, Joy gives a speech. That's pretty much it. Then Ashley and went to go negligee shopping for teddies and strapless bras and brassieres and panty liners and things and whatnot. And they talk relationships, and Ashley reveals that she's a crybaby, and Quick is very nonchalant with how he kind of responds. And it was interesting to me because I think about myself, like I'm, as much as I'm a Cancer and I feel like I am empathetic, I am also very much like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? Okay, like, okay, when somebody comes to me with a problem, I'm very much like, what are we gonna do about it? Like how, okay, well, okay, all right. So we can't really sit in this. Let's formulate a plan and let's figure out a way to attack it. Okay, I'm that person. So I'm trying to work on getting better at just saying to the person, or trying to understand more. Like, do you just want me to listen to you right now, or do you want me to help you craft a plan? Because I'm more of the help you craft a plan friend. Okay. But if you need me to listen, I can also be a great listener. I just need to know what you want me to do, because my natural instinct is let's solve this problem. So anyway, all the ladies then, Winter recommends a black couples counselor for the two of them. All the ladies gather for Erana's wig collection event, and Winter tries on the Ray Ray wig, which was cute to see all the ladies kind of come together. Erana is throwing a retirement party for Jamie, and Joy is doing the roast. Ashley is like, ooh, well, girl, what are you performing? So what are you wearing? Shady. Just shady boots, okay? But I did wonder myself. But Carmen was like, oh, well, I think Ashley said, I think we should go on a shopping spree. Now I'm gonna tell you the truth. Joy responded to this well, because somebody else could have been like, who are you talking to? But I feel like at this point, Joy is just like, I'm tired of arguing with you. Like, I'm not doing this with you. If you want to go, if you want to go shopping and spend your dollars on me, fine. Actually, I would too. And let me tell you where we're gonna go. We're gonna go to Gucci. We're gonna go to Bottega. We're gonna go to Hermes. We're gonna go to Chanel. I think we might also have to go to. We'll stop at Neiman so we can get the best of everything as well. I mean, we're going top notch on this thing. I'm gonna make you pull out that credit card, okay? I want a bag too. I want that Fendi bag that you was carrying around up in that scene too. Get me one of them, okay? I want all of it. I want everything. I want one of each, all of it, okay? If you want to dress me, because girl, I got to take the stage and I'm on TV too. So you think I can't dress? Fine. Let's pull out that Amex card and let's get to shopping. Okay, that's what I would. Let's get that shopping. You want to go right now? I'm free after the scene. How about that? Okay, I'm free after the scene. How about that? head on down to the Tyson's Galleria. Okay, that's where we're going. Galleria 2. Okay, that's where we're going. You want to get real fancy? We can fly on up to New York. You want to pay the ticket too? Okay, I would have been like that. No shade. No shade. I mean, listen. I mean, because here's the thing. Everybody's first season on a reality TV show is kind of like for some people, it's kind of difficult, right? If you ain't really like that type of like dresser like that. And I feel like Joy is just kind of probably like a regular round the way, type woman. You know what I'm saying? But she has been on TV before, so I'm kind of like, but maybe she just don't care. But I kind of want you to care a little bit, because when I watch TV for these types of shows, I ain't really watching to see the neighbors, my neighbors. Nothing wrong with my neighbors, but I want to see elevated. I want you to at least make me feel like it's elevated. Now, don't be elevated if you ain't got it. Okay, I don't want you to pull an alleged Kim Zolciak or nothing like that. But I want you to try. Just try. If you're trying, I'm fine. Okay, if you're trying and this is what you came up with, fine. But if you ain't trying, now I don't know. I can't keep watching you on my TV if I know you ain't trying. But if you're trying and you're just not hitting the mark, or you're trying and you just got a different style, because everybody got a different style. You got to give people grace for that too. Individuality counts as well. So I don't know. Anyway, Joy is then like, well, bump all of the shopping, because we know I'm gonna spend your money. But why was y'all talking about me as a throuple? So next week we got to wait and see what's gonna happen. I might try to do like an interview or something between now and then, because I do have questions for a couple of people, and I had only been able to really interview Ashley at the beginning of the season. So I'm gonna see what I can make happen if I got the time this week. This week is kind of crazy. So we shall see what I can possibly do. But with that being said, let me know if you guys are enjoying this season. If you're having fun with it. I decided that I was just going to have fun with this episode. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And hopefully you'll still stick around and subscribe to the channel anyway. Like this video if you like reality TV related content. Also, be sure to click the link in the description of this video to pre-order my book, The Wickedest Wives, Book 2, A Vicious Reality. It is the second in the series. Desiree's Desire was book 1. It is also available on Amazon.com for you guys to get, and it's also available on Audible. This book will be available on Audible and paperback and hardback as well, so just give me a little bit of time to have all that stuff ready for you guys, but it's coming. You guys can also use the QR code and the link in the description right here, or the QR code right here, and then the link in the description down below. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.